welcome back to another episode of Afrolit. Wow. If you're seeing this, if you're watching this, you know I have someone very special sitting across from me. But we're going to ignore her for right now. Okay.
Wow. Big wow.
What a warm welcome. Oh my goodness. Never. No, I am so blessed and excited to have someone that I truly actually admire. People don't know. Well, I don't know if the Afrolit crew remembers, but I remember referencing this lovely woman's vlogs all about having Rafiki, the movie, doing the music for that, going to Cannes, being one of the first beautiful Kenyans to represent. Like, you know, I know some things. I know some things about this young lady you see sitting here.
Oh my God.
So I'm very excited to have the first guest of the season for Afrolit, Miss Patricia Kihoro. Wow, straight from the motherland, from Kenya, representing 254.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Sis.
Asante sana. Thank you so much for having me.
you.
It's so
Thank
cool to be here.
you.
It was great to meet you. It was great to enjoy a wonderful evening.
I know,
of
right?
Dancing and music. And
She got to meet the year men of New York.
Oh, wow. War
I know, right? What a night. What a good
Yeah.
night. But yes.
Thank you for having me.
No, of course.
This is so cool. Like, wow, girl.
Oh.
Wow, young girl. Look at you. Wow. Look
I'm
at
making the
this.
aunties proud,
Come
right?
on. The colors are coloring.
Right, we have Afro.
The
we're
logo is
doing-
logoing.
You see
We're
names.
couching on the couch.
But yes, you see that's why you do what you do, and it comes so effortlessly. You see how just effortless.
Asante.
No, I'm very excited to have also multi-hyphenate. You know what was so great? When I first met you, and I can't remember, I don't know if it was these Mayer men, but they were like, oh, what do you do? You're like, well, I act, I sing, I have my own platform. And you were just so confident to list out all the things. That's
I?
beautiful. Yes.
Okay.
I appreciate that. I love
Thank you.
that. But yes, I want to
Asante.
get into it. So
Thank you.
let's go back. Let's take it back.
Mhm. Mhm.
Tell the people. I would love to know. Of course, we know you represent 254, so we don't have to give them all of that. But I would just love to understand how you were able to what started the journey, at least, and then how you were able to come to the Big Apple.
Whew. Well, hey, this journey. This has been quite a journey.
Johnny.
Yo. Also, like, yes, I'm from Kenya, and it's like going to be very evident.
This
that
is,
I'm
I know,
from
right? I feel like I'm already thinking of a name I'm gonna give this. I'm not gonna tell you until it
Yeah.
like drops, but it's definitely gonna be Kenya-fied.
Yeah, I have like multiple personalities, but majority of them are all from Kenya. Not what do I mean by majority? All of them are from Kenya. What do I mean?
Are you mixed? Are you mixed?
With what?
Just black on black with more black.
It's like Mashakura.
No, and I love that what a blessing and privilege to know that and to take stock in that.
Mhm.
And I think, how does that then tie into when you made the transition to now doing creation, like making, like showcasing your artistry? Like because I actually don't know what came first, because I did some research and I know you won the Tuska. You didn't win. Hey, wow.
Your research is
Google.
just what internet were you using, please?
Wow. Oh my God. Wow.
Oh my God! Wow!
No, I did not win.
Damn. But at least you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
But you were involved in, can we
Yeah.
say that?
Yes. I was
Yeah.
a finalist. I got to the end.
yeah.
I wasn't sent home. Phew.
Woo. Right. I believe it's the Tuska, like,
Project thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah. So
Did you know before? Yeah, let's go back.
If we dial it all the way back, I don't think I ever made a decision to be an artist. I was singing since I was a child. And I think my folks, who I am so grateful to, recognized that I had interest in the arts, especially music. So, for instance, my dad, when I was really young, he got me a keyboard, right? And apparently, he also got me a set of drums, but I don't remember that. But maybe just because, possibly, I just made too much noise or I didn't show any interest. I don't know. But that
I love
was,
that.
he then sold those. But I remember having a keyboard for a really big chunk of my childhood. And then my interest in singing began when I was around 8 or 9 years old. And I remember my mom, she used to buy us a lot of musical tapes, right? Like kids singing, videotapes. I remember Kobe's Clubhouse, Salty's. Salty was like a animated Bible, and there were kids singing, so the tapes. And then there was a cappella children, All God's Children.
All God's Children.
Is really what got me to say, if those kids can sing like
Yeah.
that, Sembuse Mimi, Sembuse me, like what about me, Even me, I can't do it.
Even me.
I can't do it. And yeah, so I then decided, you know what, I think I want to be a singer.
Yeah.
And so I started actively participating in musical activities in school. So whether it's choir or, going for drama festivals, music festivals. And I guess there was, that inclination towards it because I would catch on to, like, we had music class. When I say I did 844, I know on my way here, when I was referencing 844, our system of education for a very long time, it felt like we learned everything. Like, there's nothing we didn't learn. There's nothing we did not learn. We learned everything. Oh, my goodness. So we had music. We had arts and crafts.
Yeah.
I remember doing woodwork. We had home science. We had Christian religious education.
Yes.
Geography. We learned everything. And so music, I remember being just like the time, what were they called? How come? I forgot. But the...
Yeah.
Ta-te, ta-ta-te, ta-te.
What's it called? The rhythm? No, not the rhythm.
It's not
I know what you're talking about. It's like
Yeah.
the different patterns.
signatures.
Yeah, time. Yeah.
The time, all those things. Wow, I was so good. But they're like, right up. I am turning 37 in 2 months. My memory has just been declining over the years.
Wow.
So this is something that's what like my memory is crap.
You will never say that again. That's about to be the Afrolit exclusive
What?
because you're about to be 21. You can just pass as 21 like forever.
That's great, but I'm also just really proud to be 36. Like, I have no issues with in fact, I say it very, like, I'm just like, yeah, I'm turning 37. Oh, yeah. Like, I like that I've lived all these years and I'm excited to keep going.
Uh-huh.
I think for me, I'm one of those people who's just really excited to, like, okay, 37 is coming, yay! And then 38, like, 40 is coming, can't wait to be 40, and like, yay!
That is true. That's one thing I've noticed that you're not shy about, at least with your audience, like you're not shy to like showcase like who you are really and truly. Like, do you feel like that also comes from the freedoms that you had to pursue? Because, being Kenyan, being African, to pursue some of these artistic paths.
Yo, I recognize just how privileged I was, and not even privileged because I didn't come from a wealthy family.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, we were still privileged enough to, live
Have
like
that
a pretty,
freedom. Yes.
like a middle class. I mean, I wouldn't even call it middle class, but it was just. I mean, I grew up in Buruburu, and then I went to public school, but I went to a great school. I loved it.
Which school?
Buruburuan, primary. Because it's primary and then there's primary and then there's prep school.
Yes.
Yeah, I went to primary. But it was a great school. Like, I love that school. And that's where, like, my love for music grew. And then I went to Moi Girls High School.
Yeah,
Which was
okay.
Yeah, a provincial school, also a public school, but it was also great.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good school.
I do remember I really wanted to study music, but because of the the system of like quotas of students who have to do this and that subject cluster, so I had to do physics because I did well in physics, so I couldn't do music, and I remember just being so upset about that. But I joined the mass choir. I was a first aider. Like, there was a lot of extracurricular activities that we were able to to sort of take part in.
Mm-hmm.
And then for uni, like I really wanted to go to Berkeley because like music, like I was like, I'm still going to be a singer, even if my girls killed my dream of studying music.
Yeah.
But then by that time, my folks unfortunately couldn't afford it because Berkeley was super expensive.
Imagine.
And then I was like, you know what? It's cool. I'll go to USIU. Same thing. You know, the situation at home, my folks weren't able to take me to USIU. So I ended up going to Mo Uni, which is a public uni back home as well.
Yeah.
And I was selected to study hotel management. I was just like, nope. No.
You were like,
no.
I'm going to pass.
No. So I ended up studying psychology. Not because it was something that I was like, oh my God, it's been my dream.
Mind.
No, I was just like, since I haven't figured it out, I'm not going to Berkeley. I'm not going to USIU. I'm here at Mo University. There's a play I auditioned for, a musical play. It is happening in October or November of 2004. But I've been called to Mo University in September of 2004. What course can I change to that will begin in January of 2005 so that I can take part in this musical play? But also because I'm not really attached to anything that I want to study. Psychology seems cool. It's the study of human behavior. I'm pretty sure understanding human behavior, motivation will be good in whatever it is I end up doing. So let me do that. So I changed to that. They panned out the way they did, and I was very good at going with the flow. But also at the same time, it's like, I know I want to sing. So I found opportunities to sing.
That's a lesson.
Or I was interested in advertising. So, you know, found a way to get an internship at an ad agency. I feel like a lot of the things that I ended up doing, it's not because, what can I say? I feel like I was privileged enough to have room to pursue things that were of interest to me, and the privilege of having parents who allowed me to explore these things, even while saying, yeah, great, but you still need to go to university and you're going to go to Moi University. Like the reality of it is that, yeah, USIU is not going to happen for you. The US is not going to happen for you.
Right.
Get a degree, figure out, it doesn't matter, but get a degree. But at the same time also, you know, having them being able to support my university life. And then when I'm in Nairobi, I'm still able to delve into a musical play here or this here, and them being supportive of that. I feel like that's a privilege that I really appreciate, you know, having parents that were able to support or even just be like, cool, do your thing.
Like, we'll just, you know, here's the room.
Yeah.
Here's the room.
Yeah.
Explore.
Exactly.
You know?
And also just being in positions where I was able to be like, you know, find opportunities to sing in a studio, you know, or do a jingle and get paid for it, you know, and to see that, oh, there's also opportunities to be paid for this talent or a thing that is of interest to you. Not many people were able to find that, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you can sing, but you have to figure out how to buy your next meal. So, and not being able to find those opportunities to be like, oh,
that's real.
You know, like, honestly, I don't take it for granted at all. Yeah.
No, I feel like that is, I feel like that's such a blessing. And I think that more and more people should actually find those, well, even if they may not necessarily have that freedom, they can still take solace in that, even if they aren't necessarily where they think they're supposed to be, right? Because I'm sure you didn't feel like you weren't supposed to be in psychology, but in a way you were, because then that now allowed you to do the things that you do now. You know, like if we change anything about our path, like there would be things that wouldn't happen, or there would be things that would just be different. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, it worked out.
It did.
It worked out.
It did. It did. Yeah, a lot of serendipity as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, what was your first experience like where you felt like, wow, okay, it's working? Like, from now studying psychology, of course, I know you graduated. I know you accomplished all of that. When did you now start feeling like, okay, the train is now moving in the direction I like?
I was thinking about it. A lot of the things that I did were decisions made out of, I want to be on radio, not because being on radio is like great. It's just the kind of music that I love, the kind of artists that I love to listen to, the non-mainstream ones who are Kenyan or African. No station is playing them. So I want a show where I can hear that kind of music. No one is playing it. Let me see if I can make my way and find, a place to be and
and fill that gap.
Yeah, and these things were not handed to me. I kind of had to bang. I remember when 1FM, which is the first radio station I worked at, when I heard about it, I was like, okay, so I heard Adele Onyango was training. Her and Kule were going to be doing a show. So I was like, Adele, I hear you are doing this, you are at this station. I would like an opportunity. Can you put me in touch with somebody who's gonna, And she's like, yeah, okay, I don't know if they're hiring, but talk to so-and-so. Yeah. They're like recruiting. Okay, I know this person from here. Hey, girl, I hear that, can I come do a voice test? Yeah. And she's like, okay, yeah, sure, come. And then I go and they're like, yeah, that's great, but we're not really interested in the kind of show that you want to do. And I'm like, fine. Yeah, we'll call you when we're ready. No, I'm not going home. What do you need now? Well, we need a news anchor. I'll do a voice test for that. Go home, take the newspaper, practice. Vile Catherine Kasavuli alikuwa anasoma hiyo news. Catherine Kasavuli, So I'm like, okay, how do they, earlier today, no. And I guess maybe that's where the acting comes in.
Right.
So I could
look at that.
I could act as a news anchor.
Yeah.
And at the same time, acknowledge that I have no journalism background. So even when I did the voice test and they're like, you know what? You sound great. Cool, we'll hire you.
Wow.
Acknowledging that because I have no journalism background, I'm not a journalist, but I can learn on the job. And when I joined the station and when FM started, they had 3 interns from, one from USIU, Asha Mwilu, one from, and I think a couple from the Kenya School of Media Studies. And I told them, you guys are going to teach me. Because I literally am just here to read the news, but I need to learn from you. So we're here collaboratively. Right. And, it was such a great experience because I learned. It was such an open, we're here learning from each other.
Right.
No, we're not learning from each other. I'm learning from them.
Right.
Nothing, And when the opportunity now came for a head of news to finally be hired, I was like, please, Asha Mwilu is the journalist. Let her, because I was literally here to lend a voice to the news.
Yeah.
And I acknowledge that. So you see how these opportunities, as much as, it would have been better that an actual journalist got the job.
Yeah.
But that was my in so that I could do the show that I wanted, right? And when the time came to hire another news anchor or head of news, let the journalist then step in.
Yeah.
And then I can leave that so that I can do the thing that I need to do. And so, there's privilege in that, to be honest. But I also kind of fought for it. And,
of course.
And I think acknowledging that sometimes, because there's a lot of times I think that so many things are happening in my head. I've gone through a season of very, very intense, debilitating imposter syndrome. Right?
Really?
Yeah. And it comes with just being like, man, am I a fraud? And looking back, having to consider all the things that I've been able to do, recognizing that just because it wasn't hard for me to be able to become a news anchor doesn't mean that I didn't work or put in the work.
Right.
But acknowledging that I still worked for all the things that I did. Granted, the opportunities, I was able to see them and grasp at them. Not everybody gets the privilege to even have those opportunities anywhere close.
Right.
And so in grappling with the whole, am I a fraud? Do I deserve this? I'm kind of like, today is a good day because I'm in a space where I can see, oh no, but I really did work hard regardless.
Yeah.
I did work hard. I worked hard. I was exhausted working. And just because some things came easy or easier doesn't mean that it came easiest.
Exactly.
It wasn't handed to me.
Exactly.
And in when push came to shove, I used those opportunities and then stepped aside for the people who then also deserved those opportunities to then
Right.
take over from there, you know?
Of course.
Like it didn't come at the expense of somebody
Someone else.
Yeah. So I think maybe now today I can step back and see I stepped into roles that I was able to perform well, and then I stepped away from them when I'd grown from that and then moved on to the next thing. And I've been blessed enough to have different interests and be able to pursue them at whatever level that I needed to learn whatever lessons I needed to learn within that space. And I know now that it's in service of a bigger, grander plan that I've been working towards, that maybe I wasn't seeing it then, but I know that the higher power, God, is just orchestrating something so that the impact that I want to make in the creative sphere will be felt. Because it feels like now in hindsight, today's a good day. Today's a good day. So in hindsight, I'm able to be like, okay, labda tulikuwa tunaekelea this brick here, and then we put, you know, this welcome mat here. Here we painted over this wall. Yeah, and it's all like adding up to something. I may not see the bigger picture just yet, but there were lessons to be learned, and a basket is being woven, and we'll see it. But just trust. I've just been trusting the process. So like patting my back, like trust the process.
First of all, I just need you to acknowledge that whole journey and process, and you even understanding yourself within that, is a lesson in itself. Like, there's no way that you should ever feel that even what you've just said is not inspiring someone else. And if that's all that you know what I mean? And I feel like that's also a part of the story. And that's why you were given certain positions, and that's why you were able to show up. Because also, I feel like people cower at that feeling, because like, you didn't have to do the news anchor opportunity, right? Like, you could have just been like, I'm an actor. You know what I mean? And some people, that's their path, right?
Yeah.
But then you just decided, no, I'm going to take this to make it the magic that is supposed to happen. And then even having the confidence to, yes, maybe you had another opportunity waiting for you, but I feel like you were able to just pass on that baton, not necessarily being even confident in the area that you're going into next. Am I right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's, oh my.
I also feel like you asked me, so Patricia, what is 2 + 3? And my answer was, well, the car was driving by.
I was going to say that we will be making very hard pivots in this. But no, I think that was so important and I feel like that's so valuable. I think as even I'm listening to you, but even more so just in my own self, I know that sometimes it's not even about, like you said, the position. It's not even about, it's just like your presence. Your presence needed to be at 1FM. Your presence needed to be even within the, Tuska Project fame. Just even if you didn't necessarily get what we were supposed to get, that momentum has now created all these different opportunities to now be coming to US to do UN goalkeeper situations. Like, come on. That's not just, you're playing with the big leagues, you want to bamba. You want to chill with the big girls? Come on. Like, I think that there is a beauty and there's a very strong grace that you carry that you should never, I hope that this never like makes you feel small or makes you want to go within. I think that it should allow you to even stretch further.
Yeah.
I feel like that. And so even just stepping into that, you've been such a great advocate of course, putting people on, but of course, putting Kenya on. Look at even the drip. This watch, I need this watch and this jewelry. You need to give us all the drip. Like, please help us understand. Even me, I brought some Kenya, with me. I brought this, my scarf, my Kiko Romeo scarf. Let me shout her out.
Rada Safi.
I just had to do a little something for the people.
Let me tell you, Kenyans are so dope. Kenyans are so amazing.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Kenyans on Twitter, hilarious.
I know, right? We're the ones.
We
The
are
one and not the
hilarious.
two.
But then just generally, Kenyans are amazing. Like, Kenyans are just amazing.
Yeah.
Like, in all spaces.
Yeah.
Whether it's tech.
Yeah.
Whether it's
I mean, literally
fashion.
M-Pesa. I remember, not to cut you off, I remember like going home, coming back, having M-Pesa, and being like, oh, yeah, we send money between, like, it's not even a big deal. Like, it's like you can do it without iPhone. I don't know how many years later it took for Apple Pay to now come and exist. This was back in, like, I
Ule
want to say...
Zuckerberg alikuja Kenya. Zuckerberg alikuja Kenya. Kuangalia ya kwa, hey, how did you do this? How did you manage?
Zuckerberg.
Like, over a decade later.
Yes.
They're still trying to figure out.
Like, how did you...
Yeah, and so...
You know?
And I feel like Kenyans and Africans in general, like, we're slowly, like, blossoming and seeing and recognizing exactly who we are. And I think we are proud to show the rest of the world exactly who we are.
Yeah.
And I am one of those people who I am happy to sing it from the rooftops, like, bro, we are so dope. We are so dope. Have you heard our music? Like, can you imagine Burna Boy, Wizkid? Those are 2 people. Thames, 3 people. Arya Star, 4 people, right? Honestly, the people who are popping right now are but a mere fraction of the massive numbers of talent. And if those few people can manage to make the world go crazy, and this is just like a small number.
Like 0.0.
And they carry so much
Right.
dopeness. Can you imagine if the rest now, like, just fly? Like, I'm so glad that that's happening, because it's also like, look, if the whole entire world is just being moved by such a small pool of people.
Right.
That's a small pool of people, guys. And they are so deserving of where they are.
Right.
But they're leading the pack. They're leading the legions of massively talented artists. Those are singers, musicians. Now we have actors, actresses, writers,
Designers.
Woo!
Jewelry makers.
What?
You know what
What?
I'm saying?
What?
Like,
Even my my eyeshadow. Like, I remember last
No.
week, just
Like,
people
get
like, oh my
into
God,
it.
your eyeshadow, what palette is that? It's like, it's Kenyan. Like, yo,
yeah.
let me tell you, and I've been feeling this way about things from back home. I was shopping at my same market from when I was, 15?
Wow.
I'm 37.
Wow.
That's 22 years.
Wow.
Actually, even longer.
More,
you know?
probably.
Kikois around my neck.
Of course.
Beaded earrings from Masai Market. When the fashion industry began to, like, just
Like
be,
different textiles.
you know, people owning the fact that actually I am a designer. I'm a jewelry designer. I'm a fashion designer. I make this, I make that. And being proud of that. It's no longer just a hobby.
Yeah.
This is my lifeline.
Livelihood.
This is the thing that I do, and I put all my passion and creativity into, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
Seeing that happen. And it's like, bruh, like, I could easily spend the rest of my life only draped in Kenyan and African brands. In fact, it's only, I think, in this year that I'm like, you know what? I know because whenever I travel, I'm like, I'm only just going to wear Kenyan.
No,
I'm
and
like,
you've
you know what,
been
let me
good. You've been so... Get into the vlogs, y'all.
But it's also because I'm
Yes.
just so proud of it. Like,
Yeah.
I love being out, even in Kenya, but also being outside and having somebody be like, oh my goodness, you look
Where's
so good. Where's that from? Which one? And I'm like, it's from Kenya. It's from Kenya. You should come to Kenya.
Yeah.
Go to Kenya. It's
Right.
good. You know? Those things
Brand
excite me
ambassador,
so much.
Yeah.
You know, like when I did Afro Central, the radio show, and
yes.
I only played African artists, and
Yes.
I love that people would be like, you mean that's a Kenyan artist? You mean that's from Tanzania?
I know.
You mean that's from Liberia? And I would do the work to, like, look for all the contemporary young artists from all these different countries, so that it's not just I mean, Nigeria is popping, always has.
Of
South Africa is
course,
popping.
yes.
But imagine even all these other smaller countries. There's such
You know what I'm
amazing artists.
saying?
And it's like,
Mozambique,
it's
Zambia.
so wonderful to
like-
see the world open up.
Yeah.
And not they're not supporting, they are celebrating, they're being blown away. That's the thing. It's like they're being blown away. It's like,
Listen.
what? They weren't ready. They weren't ready.
Wow.
Yeah, so that makes me so happy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No, Patricia, like, I just feel so many things that I want to say. But I know for a fact that you are, like, this is more than just, like, what you're supposed to do. I know this is a part of your calling, you know? And it just, the way that it comes out and the way that you're able to even, like you said, unpack, these are things that you've unpacked for yourself. Because I know not everyone feels the way that you feel, but I know that you're here to convince others to do what you're doing, but then also to even just understand that, oh yeah, like I don't have to maybe be the brand ambassador for Kenya and wear all these Kenyan brands, but it's like I can now make a choice of, oh, okay, instead of just going to, I don't know, in Junction, getting some regular makeup, it's like, oh, I can actually get a Kenyan brand to do this. Or I can look chic and buy this Kenyan designer, you know what I mean? And I think that's the really importance that you play as a multi-hyphenate, but also I think that it's just beautiful to see how all of it can come together and we can be proud of these things. And so I feel like with this conversation, it only makes sense if you were to look back to your 10-year-old self, what would you tell her right now?
Oh, 10 years old was 1996. That's when Pluto died. That's when my dog died. Oh, I'd just say, you know, you'll never forget Pluto. Pluto, even 27 years from now, dear
Wow.
Wangeshi, my name is Wangeshi, you will still remember Pluto with a soft heart.
Wangeshi.
Yeah. So, 10-year-old Wangeshi, yeah, just
Mm.
you had a friend in Pluto. Let me answer your question though. Like, what would I say to 10-year-old me? And I would say that yes, you figured out that you can just go with the flow and trust your instinct, and trusting your gut is definitely the thing to lead with. And it has created like an ease with which you're able to kind of just slide into these opportunities and you take them. But at the same time, know that you are also able to take the lead. You can also make this. You don't like the flow. You can also guide the flow. As much as you can go with it, you can also guide it.
Yeah.
And you don't always. Your voice matters. Your opinion matters.
It does.
You matter.
It does.
And when people say something that, because people won't always say, just because somebody says something doesn't mean you have to agree with it. Your opinion also matters, and you can also just guide the flow. The flow will move according to what you want it to do. I think that's something that's alchemized and crystallized for me in the last couple of hours. I think recognizing that you can also set the direction of the flow.
No, I love that. I'm taking that. Maybe that one's for 10-year-old, but also for me right now too. I think that steering the direction of the flow is also recognizing that you have that power too.
Exactly.
You know, that you don't just have to flow into the current. Like that, there's a stance, and like it takes power to build the dam.
Yeah,
you know,
there's so many things that I've done where I leaned into that. And I thought that, it was just something that landed here, but really no, I went after it.
Yeah.
And I didn't recognize that because I thought I was just going with the flow. But in hindsight, I see now that there's so many things that I have made happen, and that's okay. Because also sometimes, the messaging around being aggressive or
I know, right?
It can be very minimizing when somebody says, oh, don't be like this, or you're too this, but
must you?
Yeah.
Just that, it doesn't feel good.
I mean, we can do hard things, and doing hard things is totally fine. Yeah,
Bamba.
we have done hard things actually.
You're doing them.
Yeah.
Continue to.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. The gems, the love, the glow. Patricia,
Yeah.
Wangeshi,
Yes.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. I can't reach over you because I'm going to knock the mic and it's going to make noise again. But wow. Oh, how exciting. How vibrant.
Thanks for this session.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of
You'll
course.
tell me how much you'll bill me for this development.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to follow us everywhere you see Afrolit. Listen to us everywhere. It's been amazing. Make sure to follow. See in the show notes. See in the link below to stay in tune with Patricia. And yeah, we're going with the flow. Bye. Become an Afrolit crew member. Okay, so that was my little intro. But so you see this new place and you also hear the crisp sound. But guess what? This takes some bread, some agege bread, some dollar bills, honestly. And I truly need your support with this. So become an Afrolit crew member. You can join us by joining Afrolit's Patreon page and hitting the comments there, joining at different tiers. It is to your choice, but it would make a huge difference. It will support the starving artist team. No, I'm kidding. But we're not starving, but it will definitely help us create more content, special content. You can get early content. You know, we're trying to stay up in this game. So what you're going to do is you're going to go right now, click that button so that you can join us. Peace. Thank you in advance. And yes, see you soon on the other Patreon side.